Hare Krishna, everyone. One of the things that I've wanted to do for some time, because I personally am a lot better at learning in terms of seeing things visually. Believe it or not, I actually find it difficult to read for long periods of time. I'm a much better learner when I see things visually. And one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time now, for a few months, was to map out some of the contents and some of the details of the chapter I put together on, in the Hare Krishnas and written, the chapter I put together on sects, schisms and sanghas. I wanted to map that chapter out in terms of how does the Gaudiya Vaishnav family tree, particularly at the moment, the Saraswati line, how does it fit together on a piece of paper? Because I'm much better learning when I can see things. And what I'm doing, and I've got up today, it's Sunday, and I've felt the kind of inspiration to do this before I go out later on, is I've started to map out, I've got some big pieces of A3 paper. I've started to map out, I don't know if you can see it, right? I've started to map out, if I try and, without the phone going odd, I've started to map out all the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that have actually either come to Britain or who have had some influence in Britain. So what's kind of interesting, actually, also in terms of an update, can you see that? There's a big group there. That's the 1930s group. So there was actually 5 disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that came to Britain in the 1930s. Just a quick reminder of who they were: Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, Bhakti Hridaya Bon Maharaj, Sabhidandana Das, Rasabahari Jyoti Brahmachari, and Bhakti Saranga Goswami, and they were instrumental in setting up the kind of Gaudiya mission in the UK in the 1930s. Then, of course, we've got the big one, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, and the first 7 Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in total had 7 disciples of his that came to Britain. So it's the first 5 in the 30s. There was A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, and less known, Bhakti Kamud Santa Maharaj, number 7. Can you see that? Number 7, Bhakti Kamud Santa Maharaj. He actually came to Britain for 4 weeks in the 1970s. 1975, he spent about 4 weeks here, or 4 weeks in Europe. He was a younger godbrother of Srila Prabhupada. He actually took initiation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur at the age of 12. He was a young boy in the 1930s, which meant that he didn't actually pass away until 2012. I think he was probably the last disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj to leave the planet. And then the others listed here, numbers 8 through to 12, there's a hair on there, 8 to 12, never actually came to the UK, but they have mats that have representation in the UK. Again, this is all in the Saraswati line, so what's going to happen, and I haven't done this yet, is above these 12, up here is going to be Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And when this is all written out in pen, in pencil and different colours, I'm then either going to find a graphic designer to make a big map, a big PDF, or I'm going to do it myself if I can find the time to do it. So just to go through who these others were. So number 8, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, founder Acharya of the Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Mat. That mat has representation in the UK. Bhakti Keshava Maharaj, one of the founders of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. We know that Srila Prabhupada, as in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada was also one of the founder acharyas or founders of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Bhakti Daita Madhava Maharaj, the founder acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat. Probably more well known than him was his successor, Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, who spent a lot of time in Britain in the 90s. And then, of course, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, founder acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, quite a big mat now in London. And then, so those 11, this is a bit of an update I've got for you. So those 11 are mentioned in my book, the Hare Krishnas in Britain. Number 12, I've not mentioned before. I knew of his existence, and there's a key reason I never mentioned him. And I will be, because some of you have asked for it, I will be releasing a second edition of the Hare Krishnas in Britain, probably this year. There's some information that needs updating. And number 12 is a new piece of information, because I've been quite strict on what contents were included in the book, because, you know, the Gaudiya Vaishnava world's quite big, and you know, I never would have completed the research if I was looking at every single group in the world. I have listed in the book some mats that don't have representation in the UK, but exist. But I never mentioned a mat called the Sri Guru Prapana Ashram. So the Sri Guru Prapana Ashram was founded by Pati Pavana Goswami Thakur. So he is another of these God brothers. There's all these God brothers, all these peers, all these contemporaries, all these disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So he wasn't mentioned in the book, and he will be in the second edition, because he, again, like a lot of the others, he is not so much well known. His disciple is well known. His disciple and successor, I've kind of nicknamed her the Lady Acharya. Her name is Guru Mata Srimati Jayashree Devi, and she is the current Acharya of the Sri Guru Prapana Ashram. Now, she's becoming quite well known at the moment because she's a lady, and as far as I'm aware, she's the only Acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava world that's a woman, or a Vaishnavi, or a lady, or you know, whatever term that you feel comfortable using. So the reason why, sorry, I missed that point, is because there is now a devotee living in Oxford. He's recently moved here from India. He's doing a PhD in Oxford. He is a disciple of Guru Mata Srimati Jayashree Devi, and therefore the mat's now going to go on the list. So this is the current list plan, and as I say, what's going to happen as well, particularly with ISKCON, number 6, and also with Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and also with the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati mat. I will also list the offshoots. The others, as far as I know, don't have offshoots, or don't have offshoots represented in the UK. ISKCON's got a lot of offshoots. There's second generation and third generation. So second generation are groups like the Sri Chaitanya Sangha, founded by Tiparera Swami, and then third generation offshoots would be the Sacred Arts Trust, the Hare Krishna Centre Leicester, and those are Hare Krishna Community Blackpool. Those are groups that are founded by disciples of Srila Prabhupada, not direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So that's the plan, and we'll have a nice big, in PDF format and JPEG for Facebook, and is a nice big kind of family tree of the Saraswati Line. Just to point out, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava world, this is just the Saraswati Line. Also, in the Hare Krishnas in Britain book, I've also talked about the Nityananda line, and they're a smaller line in the UK, but they do have representation in the UK. There's at least 6 Babajis in the Nityananda line that have representation in the UK, and actually soon, some more breaking news. I will be revealing on the Hare Krishna Project page some big news from the Nityananda line in terms of something that's happening quite big in the UK. But I can't give away any more information. I've been approached by the devotees, and I'm hopefully being given the exclusive scoop. We're going to run a news story on it and make a short film, or a long film, on it. So that's what I'm doing today, Sunday morning vibes, mapping out the Saraswati Line in the UK. Hare Krishna.